So who exactly is Linda? And how did she come to have such a massive impact on my life? I'm here on Brancaster Beach. But let's head back first of all today to the Titchwell Chalkpit Reserve and let's have a chat. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Linda's Legacy all around the coast. I'm Robert and I started this channel following the sad and untimely passing of my partner Linda last December. In 2027 I'm going to embark on a walk all around the coast of Great Britain. And between now and then I'm going to take you on some local walks, mainly around Norfolk, but we'll go further afield soon. I'd be delighted if you join me on these walks and we can have a discussion about grief, the grieving process, and how it's impacting my whole existence. Today I've returned to Titchwell here in Norfolk, to the Titchwell Chalkpit Reserve, recently reopened, and a place that I used to come with Linda, where we could sit and contemplate and have a picnic and have a great time. And I'm delighted to find that it's reopened again, having had so much work done here to make it accessible again. It's wonderful. I thought I'd come here again today to spend a little while thinking of Linda and having a chat about her. And I'm so glad I did, because it's just wonderful here today. I think it's just me here today. I haven't seen anybody else, which is always good. But I'm going to go and find the little bench where we used to sit. And there's a picnic table up there. And yeah, let's have a little look. There we go. Up the steps, and then the view will actually take your breath away. So let's just head up a little way. Well, this is good. Yes, there's nobody else here today, it's just me. So we'll come and spend some time up here. We come up where there are some benches, a picnic table, and the most incredible view out to sea. Look at that. There we are, looking over the village of Titchwell towards the sea. And as we go all the way across there, we can see all the way out to the village of Thornham and beyond. Now the question is, where should I sit? Well, I think I'm going to go to the bench, not to the picnic bench just yet, but to the bench I used to sit at with Linda before this was all cleared and amazing. We'd sometimes come up here, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in a flask and spend some time, and it really is absolutely an amazing place to be. So I'll have a sit down and have a chat. So who exactly was Linda? Well, Linda was my partner for more than 22 years. We knew each other for longer than that, and she was the most incredible person. She was kind, she was sensitive, she was forgiving, she was sympathetic and empathetic to everybody. She was a good friend to some people, just a few, but she was absolutely an incredible friend. To me, she was my best friend. One of the things that I miss more than anything is losing my best friend. And that's a really terrible thing to have to do. Linda also, though, would stand her corner. She was independent. She would be feisty when she needed to be. Yeah, she was amazing. Absolutely amazing. When I first saw Linda, the very first time, she stood out. And yeah, we got on together so well, and some people have said how happy she was, and I do hope so. I think so. Oh dear. We did so much together over the years. We travelled, we walked, we explored all around the country, and I'm so looking forward and so not looking forward to going back to some of the places we went to. I've got photos up of us being at Land's End and then in John O'Groats. It took us, I think, 7 years to get between the two. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get from one to the other this time. Hopefully slightly less than that. But yeah, thinking about sitting at those or standing at those places again, it's just me. That's going to be very, very emotional. But I really can't wait to get there again. It's going to be really, really exciting exploring around the country, finding places that we didn't get to go together and exploring them and finding things out for myself. Although obviously it would have been so much nicer for us if we could have done that together. But there we go. But no, places that we've been before, I shall revisit with memories of when we went together and make new memories, meet new people. And all the places that we didn't get to, in fact, probably a huge amount of places we never even thought of, you know, will be, I shall enjoy them. I shall make new memories myself as well. We had plans, we had so many plans to go places that now aren't going to happen. So my plan will happen instead, and I take Linda with me. Linda had such a major impact on my life, and I've often thought in the last few months how she was teaching me all the way through. I don't mean in a classroom way or anything silly like that, but in her way of being, her actions, her words, her thoughts. And it's I just didn't realize at the time, but now I can see how Linda was showing me how to be a better person. I have to admit, I've been Mr. Stress in the past, and yeah, Mr. Stress, Mr. Angry, all those not nice things to some extent. But now everything's changed. Sometimes we'd go out and sometimes we'd sit in a place similar to this perhaps and have a nice view and see nature and birds and animals and just sights and everything and people, whatever. And I would sit and I'd look out and I'd be looking at, as you do, the view and maybe a bird going past or the waves on the sea or something. And quite often I'd be aware that Linda would appear to me just to be staring out into space. And I often think, and I said, "You're missing out here. You know, did you see that? Did you hear that?" And I get it now. I get it totally. Linda was just taking everything in and just being. And she would take in all that was going on, whether it looked like it or not. And I so get that now, just to sit and to take it all in. And nature and the world is incredible. And I can totally see how and why she was, and I couldn't before. Weirdly though, towards the end of Linda's time here, there were a few occasions where she'd tell me things, and it was almost in a way of preparing for not being here. And I'm 100% sure Linda did not know that she was about to go and to leave us and not be here. But when she spoke a couple of times, it was almost as if subconsciously or from somewhere deep inside she did know. You know, what would you do if I wasn't here, or well, how will you do that if I wasn't here to do it? You know, those sort of situations. And I think, well, you are here. And it's, I don't know if it was something subconscious or whether maybe there was some something inside Linda's soul that was preparing for that time, and it was coming out in the way that she then tried to get that across to me. I don't know. But very strange when you look back and you think of those sort of things. And now that Linda's not here, I have changed again immensely. No more stress. Let things be. I mean, you think I would be actually a little bit stressed and worried about things when I'm going to take on this challenge of walking around the whole country. As I've said, I'm going to come out the house, walk down the boardwalk, turn right, and one day I'll come back again. And that could be, what, 2 years, 3 years, who knows? So you think I'd be a little worried, but I'm not. I'm excited. I'm excited to go to meet people, to help, to do what I can to help people who are perhaps fellow grievers, people struggling in situations similar to myself. And of course to go on this adventure and to try and raise as much money as possible for the 2 charities that I'm supporting. The Tapping House Hospice, what an incredible place. The East Anglia Children's Hospices, again, incredible people there working and doing such good work. Anything I can do to help them is just going to be, well, anything I can do won't be enough, will it? Clearly. But I've got to do what I can and try and get as much help to them as possible. And just a quick aside, if you have donated to the cause so far, thank you so much. Thank you. It really means a lot. It really does. But there's a long way to go now. There is a long way to go in miles, and there's a long way to go in time. When I first met Linda, I was a different person to the person at the end of when Linda left. And now I'm a different person again. And quite likely after 2 or 3 years of walking around the country, I'll be a different person again, but who the heck knows? Who can tell what will happen? And that's another thing I learned from Linda so much as well, that she would quite often say, just let things go, things will happen, things will work out. And they did. She was a big believer in karma. I would quite often become very stressed out about certain situations or people's actions or something, and Linda would say, it will all work itself out in the end. And it always did. It was like she knew she was getting information from somewhere higher than I could ever access. But yeah, she really did have a good way of knowing, or she had a good way of seeing into people and working them out so much better than I could. And yeah, Linda meant the world to me in every possible way, and she still does. She still does in every possible way as well. She changed my life. Most incredible person that you could ever hope to meet. The view here is amazing. I think it's time to have some lunch. So I've moved across to the picnic bench because that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I've got a good view this way. I think the clouds are getting a little bit more broken apart. It's more blue in the sky. And here we are. Got a picnic, and I've just realised I've got 2 Eccles cakes and there's only one of me. It's funny how the things that really get you sometimes. I bought 2 cakes and there's one of me. And we would always buy 2 of things, you know, in share packs. Oh, it's just me. There's always something to kick you as a reminder, always. Well, you know, I've had a thought while I've been eating my lunch, and that this is such an amazing place, and I'm looking out at the sea there behind us, and I thought today could be the day where I go back to the beach at Brancaster. Would you like to come with me? Let's go. Well, I've made it to the top of Gypsy Lane now, and we came here last week and didn't go any further, but today I'm going to brave it and see if I can actually go to the beach, which I felt emotionally unable to do since Linda passed. It's been really difficult for me, but it's such a lovely day. I feel inspired to give it a try today. Well, we've made it out the end of the lane. Over this side is Titchwell RSPB Reserve. We're going to head to the beach. As soon as you get out here onto the marshes heading towards the beach, it's a completely different world. It's amazing. There's so many geese around at the moment, and it's not even the pinkfoot time of the year or anything. But you can see just behind there's a family of geese, and then across this way, look at all that. They're having a whale of a time on the afternoon. Well, it must be low tide, because down here there are these big old plastic ducts that let the water go in and out of various parts of the marsh, and then the water level is right up to the level of the plants just over there. And of course sometimes the whole of this field floods when it's a super high tide, but not today. It's going to be low, so there should be quite a lot of beach today. And here we are, Brancaster Beach. Yeah, the tide's well out today. Well, the tide is a long way out, and yeah, won't be walking to the sea today. I think it's still going out actually. But we're going to go along to the far end here and have a sit down in a place that was special to Linda and me, and see how we get on. I'm all right so far. So over that way is the Royal Norfolk Golf Club, and way in the distance, Galthead Island. There's a shipwreck over that way, and look how far out people have walked. On a low tide you can walk for absolutely hours here, although you must always be aware of when the tide is going to come back in again. So many people get caught out by the tides, either here or at places like Wales next to the sea, and yeah, you really need to keep a good check on the tide times and be aware of how soon before high tide you need to be heading inland, because for instance here the tide doesn't just come in sort of towards the beach, it comes around you, and it's very, very easy to suddenly find yourself cut off. Well, I'm having a sit down and a drink, as I said, and I'm probably going to eat that other Eccles cake because it would be a waste not to. Anyway, have a look at my view across the water. Seals. Can you see them? There's one along the water here as well. Maybe he'll pop up. Oh no, there's another one. I don't know if you can see that coming along there. Anyway, but yeah, we first came here, we saw one seal on one day and we were so amazed, and yet you come another day, there might be 20 or 30 of them, whole families. It is just wonderful to see. There's a seal. Can you see him? The water's so shallow there, he's almost sunbathing out. Wonderful. Well, I didn't think I'd be here today. I've been putting off coming back to the beach for a long time because I just couldn't handle it emotionally. Somewhere that we've been together, me and Linda, so many times. And yeah, I'll share with you, the last time I came to the beach was the day before Linda's funeral, and I sat for hours, played some music, looked at photos, just thought about times past and everything, and I really haven't been able to come back since. It's just didn't feel right at all. But today, up on the hill, up at the chalk pit, looking over at the view and the sun coming through, something just said to me, no, today is the day. And I'm really glad that I am here today. And I'm really glad that you're here with me, because it really makes a difference to be able to chat to you all, bring you along with me on these trips. It makes such a difference to me how I can deal with these things. So thank you so much. Well, I've had the other Eccles cake, thank you, and finished my drink, and I really ought to think about wandering off home now, because there are some pretty black clouds coming about, and as usual, well, you know, no coat. Anyway, it's been a good trek out today. I've really enjoyed being able to come back to the beach. I didn't for a minute think that I'd be coming here today, but there was just something that spoke to me that said today is the day, and I'm glad it has been. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please comment, like, share, all those sort of things would be brilliant. Thank you. And have a good week, and I'll chat to you again soon. Take care, everyone.